The countdown to the 2026 college football season is on, and expectations are as high as ever around the ACC. Clemson enters another year with playoff aspirations under Dabo Swinney, but before the Clemson takes the field at Memorial Stadium, they'll once again have to navigate one of the country's most unique conferences. From Death Valley to the West Coast, the ACC features a wide range of venues, each bringing its own atmosphere, traditions, and home field advantage. Conference realignment has settled down since Stanford, Cal, and SMU officially joined the league, and those programs have become familiar opponents rather than newcomers. Their additions have expanded the ACC's footprint from coast to coast, creating even more variety in a conference already known for its mix of historic stadiums, passionate fan bases, and iconic settings. Of course, not every stadium offers the same game day experience. Some stand out because of deafening crowds and intimidating environments, while others shine because of their design, scenery, or overall feel on a fall Saturday. Capacity matters, but it's far from the only factor that separates the best venues from the rest. With that in mind, we've ranked every ACC football stadium heading into the 2026 season. Our rankings are based primarily on atmosphere, stadium quality, and home field advantage, with location and overall appeal helping break close calls. Here's how all 17 ACC stadiums stack up from number 17 to number 1. Where? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Capacity: 68,400. Yes, an NFL stadium comes in last. Acrisure Stadium is a solid venue, but it lacks the feel of a true college football home. Sharing the stadium with the Pittsburgh Steelers takes away from the atmosphere and identity that make college football special. A program like Pitt should have its own stadium, one that creates a distinct game day experience. There's nothing wrong with the venue itself, but based on our criteria, it ranks at the bottom of the ACC. Where? Miami Gardens, Florida. Capacity: 65,326. If this ranking were based solely on the stadium itself, Hard Rock Stadium would be much higher. It's a great venue, but the overall college football experience falls well short. The distance from campus makes it difficult for students to attend games consistently, which hurts the atmosphere on Saturdays. For a program with Miami's history and potential, the game day environment simply doesn't match the stadium. Much like Pitt, sharing an NFL venue keeps Miami near the bottom of these rankings. Where? Syracuse, New York. Capacity: 49,057. This one hurts. A few years ago, Syracuse would have ranked much higher, but the JMA Wireless Dome just doesn't have the same feel it once did. The name change certainly doesn't help. It's still a solid venue, but it no longer feels like one of college football's more unique stadiums. A few upgrades and a stronger game day atmosphere could go a long way toward making it feel like a bigger part of the program again. Where? Durham, North Carolina. Capacity: 40,004. I had a great time at Wallace Wade Stadium, although I'll admit my experience may have been a little clouded. As an away fan, it felt like there were almost as many Clemson fans as Duke fans in the stands, which definitely hurt the atmosphere. The stadium itself is nice, especially considering its size, and it's in a great area on campus. Wallace Wade has shown it can be a difficult place to play, but the game day atmosphere just isn't consistently strong enough for it to climb higher in these rankings. Where? Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Capacity: 44,500. Alumni Stadium isn't one of the better venues in the ACC from a quality standpoint. It feels a bit dated and could definitely use some updates. What keeps it from falling lower is the atmosphere. I was genuinely surprised by how loud and energetic the crowd was, creating a much better game day environment than I expected. The stadium itself isn't anything special, but the fans give it a noticeable boost. Where? University Park, Texas. Capacity: 32,000. I haven't made it to SMU yet, but Gerald J. Ford Stadium is one of the newer venues in the ACC. Most of the feedback I've seen has been positive, although the Texas heat is a common complaint during the early part of the season. The stadium itself is a nice facility, and SMU has continued to invest in improving the overall game day experience. It has plenty of potential, even if I can't rank it much higher without seeing it in person. Where? Raleigh, North Carolina. Capacity, 56,919. I had a good time at Carter Finley Stadium, and a big reason why was the atmosphere. One of the coolest traditions is that fans can leave at halftime to tailgate and then come back for the second half. I may not have made it back after halftime myself, but I thought it was an awesome touch that adds to the overall experience. From a quality standpoint, it's a solid stadium, but the atmosphere is what really stands out. The energy around the program and the game day vibes make Carter Finley one of the more enjoyable stops in the ACC. Where Atlanta, Georgia. Capacity, 55,000. This is probably the stadium on this list most influenced by my personal experience. I've had a great time every time I've visited Bobby Dodd Stadium, and that definitely plays a role in where it lands. The design is one of the best in the ACC, whether you're there as a fan or covering the game. Even though it seats around 55,000, it feels much more intimate than that, which helps create a strong atmosphere. It's simply one of the more enjoyable places to watch a college football game. Where Palo Alto, California. Capacity, 50,424. I've never been to Stanford Stadium, so this ranking is based on research and feedback from people I trust. The stadium looks beautiful, and everyone I've talked to has had positive things to say about the quality of the venue. The biggest knock I've heard is the atmosphere, which doesn't always match the setting. That's not something I can personally speak to, but it's enough to keep Stanford from climbing any higher on this list. Where Louisville, Kentucky. Capacity, 60,800. Louisville has one of the nicer stadiums in the ACC. The seating is comfortable, the stadium is well designed, and everything was reasonably priced when I visited. What really pushes it higher, though, is the atmosphere. Cardinals fans bring plenty of energy, creating one of the best game day environments in the conference. It was easily one of my favorite experiences in the ACC. Where Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Capacity, 31,500. A Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium was one of the biggest surprises of any college football venue I've visited. Driving up to it, you just don't expect it to be as nice as it is. It's definitely one of the smaller stadiums in the ACC, but that doesn't take away from the overall experience. The layout is impressive, the stadium is well kept, and it's proof that bigger doesn't always mean better. Where Charlottesville, Virginia. Capacity, 61,500. Scott Stadium has benefited from Virginia's resurgence, and the improved atmosphere only adds to what was already a great venue. It's one of my favorite stadiums in the ACC. The seating is excellent, the layout is well designed, and there's plenty of history behind it as the oldest football stadium in Virginia. I've always enjoyed making the trip to Charlottesville to catch a game. Where Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Capacity, 50,500. The ACC is full of beautiful stadiums, and Kenan Memorial Stadium is no exception. I've never been a North Carolina fan, but it's easy to appreciate what they have in Chapel Hill. The stadium fits perfectly on one of the nicest campuses in the conference, and the overall game day experience is excellent. My only real complaint is that tailgating options are a bit limited, but that's not enough to keep Kenan from ranking this high. Where Berkeley, California. Capacity, 63,000. I haven't made it to California Memorial Stadium yet, but I'm comfortable putting it this high. Everything I've seen and heard suggests it's one of the best stadiums in the ACC. The setting is gorgeous, the stadium itself is highly regarded, and friends whose opinions I trust have told me it lives up to the hype. The atmosphere may not be on the same level as some of the ACC's traditional powers, but from a stadium and overall experience standpoint, it's about as good as you'll find. Where Blacksburg, Virginia. Capacity, 65,632. From a quality standpoint, Lane Stadium is one of the best in the ACC, but what makes it special goes far beyond the stadium itself. It isn't the newest venue in the conference, yet everything about it feels like college football. The atmosphere is what separates Lane Stadium from almost everywhere else. Enter Sandman lives up to the hype, and the crowd creates one of the toughest environments in the sport. It's simply one of the best places in college football to watch a game. Where Tallahassee, Florida. Capacity, 79,560. The first time I walked into Doak Campbell Stadium, you could immediately feel the history and tradition. Even if you're not a Florida State fan, it's hard not to appreciate what the program has built and the environment that comes with it. The stadium itself is outstanding, but it's the fans who take it to another level. Doak feels like a brick fortress packed with die-hard college football fans, creating one of the most intimidating atmospheres in the ACC. Where? Clemson, South Carolina. Capacity: 81,500. Memorial Stadium earns the top spot because it checks every box. From its size and overall quality to its atmosphere and game day traditions, few venues in college football can match what Death Valley offers on a Saturday. There are plenty of great stadiums across the ACC, but Memorial Stadium stands above the rest. The combination of a passionate fan base, iconic traditions, and one of the sport's most intimidating home field advantages makes it the clear choice for number one in these rankings. This article originally appeared on Clemson Wire, ranking all 17 ACC football stadiums from worst to first.